Well, this morning, houses of worship on alert after a gunman rammed his car into a packed church in Michigan, shooting at the worshipers and then setting the building on fire.
So at least 4 are dead in the attack, and law enforcement feared that the death toll could grow.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt joins us now to react from the White House. Caroline, we all watched this in horror yesterday. Is there anything that you've been briefed with that could move this story forward to find out what the motive might have been?
Well, first of all, I want to express our sincere condolences to the victims and their families and all of the members of this church who were gathering on a Sunday in the United States of America to worship Jesus Christ. And a crazed gunman rammed his truck into the church and started firing at these innocent Americans. And our hearts break. The president was very quick to put out a statement completely condemning this and assuring the American people that the FBI is on the scene. And I spoke with our FBI director, Kash Patel, bright and early this morning. He assured me and the American public that the FBI is currently executing multiple search warrants at the residences and the family homes of this perpetrator to try to get to the bottom of why he would commit such an act of evil. And the FBI is working with both state and local law enforcement, providing the full support of the federal government. And I just want to commend state and local law enforcement for their swift and incredible response. Local police officers were on the ground of this scene within minutes and neutralized this shooter, no doubt saving lives. And they should be commended. Our police officers are heroes, and this president will always respect them and support them.
They definitely were. They were there in 32 seconds, Caroline. What did the FBI director tell you about the shooter? What do we know?
What we know at this point in time is that he was a member of this Michigan community, that he is a veteran of our United States Armed Forces. He served in the United States Marine Corps in Iraq. His family is cooperating with the FBI, and so they are currently trying to dig in and get to the bottom of why he committed this heinous act of violence. It's unfathomable. And as the president rightfully put in his Truth Social yesterday, this appears to be yet another targeted attack on Christians. And the Trump administration is fully committed to not only investigating these crimes, but prosecuting them to the fullest extent of the law, but also working very hard to prevent them, to see if there's red flags. The FBI is going to treat those as public safety emergencies and investigate them to try to prevent such violence from taking place in our country.
You know, Caroline, we had the assassination of Charlie Kirk. We had the attempted assassination on ICE officers in my hometown of Dallas. And you just obviously just referred to the church. Did this suspect leave any indication that he was trying to target people of faith, more than the obvious of him doing it to a church on a Sunday?
Well, from what I understand, based on my conversations with the FBI director, all they know right now is this was an individual who hated people of the Mormon faith. And they are trying to understand more about this, how premeditated it was, how much planning went into it, whether he left a note. All of those questions have yet to be answered, but certainly will be answered by the FBI. I think the American people in your audience can be assured. Look at the great work that the FBI did in light of, or in the hours and days following the assassination on Charlie Kirk's life. That was a successful investigation, and that investigation continues. And that assassin was, of course, being held accountable in the court of law now.
At least 2 big meetings for the president today. One is going to be with the Prime Minister of Israel, Bibi Netanyahu, at which time I understand they were setting out a framework to end the Israeli-Hamas war, but a comprehensive peace for the region. I understand, too, I have a pretty good source that says Bibi's on board. So do you expect there's going to be a press opportunity afterwards? I get it. I know you have sources working very close with Hamas, not with them, but they have contacts directly there. How close is Bibi to saying yes? How close to Hamas is saying yes? Have they let you know?
Very close. It is going to be a very busy day here at the White House. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be arriving just behind me in just a few hours to meet with the president and hopefully finalize this peace plan. President Trump and his incredible team have been working so hard since he was inaugurated in January and inherited this mess from the previous Biden administration. And the president met with our Arab partners and allies in New York City when he was at UNGA to hear them out and understand their concerns. The administration has been in both direct and indirect talks with Hamas throughout this entire process as well. And of course, the president is in constant communication with our friend and ally, Prime Minister Netanyahu. And nobody knows better than President Trump to reach a good deal, a reasonable deal for both sides. Both sides have to give up a little bit and might leave the table a little bit unhappy. But that's ultimately how we are going to end this conflict. It must end at the negotiating table. The president has made it very clear he wants to see the killing end. He wants all of the hostages released. And that's why Special Envoy Witkoff drafted up this very detailed and comprehensive 21-point plan and has proposed it to both sides. So we hope that both sides agree. That's the president's expectation. That is his hope. And he'd love to see this conflict finally come to an end and to ensure a lasting peace in the Middle East, just like he did in his first term.
Has Hamas responded to the proposal? If Bibi's on board, we know Donald Trump is. What about Hamas?
Well, those discussions will continue to take place today. I know the president will be speaking to our friends in Qatar who have served as incredible intermediaries between the United States and Hamas, and we've had some direct talks with them as well. So that's always kind of the crunch point, right? We get everyone to agree, and then Hamas has to agree as well. And so, again, this is why we've drafted a 21-point, incredibly detailed plan that we know can be and must be agreeable to both sides. The president wants to see to that.
So, Caroline, I know the president is supposed to meet with top congressional leaders today. I've heard that they want more funding for illegals, NPR funding, USAID. That seems like some things that are dead on arrival coming to the White House. What can you tell us?
Let me be very clear about the president and the White House's position. All we are asking for is a common sense, clean funding resolution, a continuing resolution to keep the government open. This is a bill that keeps the government funded at the exact same levels as today, just adjusted for inflation. So there is zero good reason for the Democrats to vote against this, especially when the Democrats have voted for this 13 previous times as recently as March. And so this is the reasonable and common sense thing to do. The president is giving Democrat leadership one last chance to be reasonable, to come to the White House today to try to talk about this. And now is not the time to try to get political points against Donald Trump. Now is the time to do right by the American people and keep the government funded. Our most vulnerable in our society and our country will be impacted by a government shutdown. Everybody knows this, and that's why Republicans and the president want to keep the government open, and we welcome Democrats to join us in that effort.
So, Caroline, the president usually comes in with leverage, or he always has something, whether it's a country or it's a group. So is he having this meeting just to hear them say, I want this, and he's going to in turn come back and say, I'm not giving it to you? I had the meeting and be done with it? Like, what could he give? For example, could he agree not to have any more rescission packages for 6 months? Could he agree to visit some of these things if they fund for the next few weeks? Can you give me an idea of any give and take that might be on the table?
Well, look, Brian, the leverage is in the president's hands because the overwhelming majority of the American public wants to keep the government open. I mean, it's not even close. Democrats and Republicans, independents across the country want the government funded because they want our military and our troops to be paid. They want TSA agents and Border Patrol to be paid. They want food assistance programs for women and children in impoverished communities to continue going out the door. All of that will come to an end if Democrats vote against this clean CR that Republicans are proposing. And might I just add, Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries are on the record multiple times in their past political lives stating that they too believe a government shutdown is bad. In fact, I quote, Chuck Schumer just last year in 2024 said a shutdown would mean chaos and pain and needless heartache for the American people. Well, we hope that Chuck Schumer and the Democrats won't cause chaos and pain and heartache. We want our country to continue to be funded. We want our government to be open so we can continue doing the business of the American people.
Caroline, thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Thanks, Caroline.
Yeah.
Thank
Besides
you.
that, not much happening at the White House today.
Very busy today.
Wow. Want even more Fox News on YouTube? Become a Fox News Patriot today. Click join to find out how.